I made this video a long while ago when I first started my channel, but I wanted to remake it being as how not many people have seen those old videos, which is understandable, and I have quite a few more to list, but not enough to justify making a part 2. Now when I say these are the dumbest things that I've ever heard, I mean these are the dumbest things people have ever said to me or spoken when I was around. These are not things that I found on the internet. So let's begin. So we were in our science class, it was junior year, and we were studying biology. This girl raises her hand and asks this question. So I know the brain and the skull are both inside the head, but is the brain inside the skull? Pretty much everyone's mouth dropped, and the teacher, without missing a beat, asked, "Is yours?" Junior year still, and a few months go by. We're in our health class, and we're going into sexual education, and the same girl raises her hand after 20 minutes into the class and asks, "So, do they call it a boner because a bone grows inside there when it's erected?" The teacher smirked at her stupidity and literally said nothing. So this one's actually been said 1,000 times on this channel, but I never knew it was a thing back then. I had been a year out of high school and my brother and his friend were hanging out. They were talking about PC gaming as I had just built my PC and my brother was getting ready to build his. His friend was, and still is, a Nintendo fanboy, and he told my brother this: "The human eye cannot tell a difference between 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second because the human eye can only see 28 frames per second." I laughed so hard, and actually him saying that made me start this notebook. It was easily the stupidest thing that I'd ever heard, and I never would have imagined someone could be so ignorant. Little did I know the world I was opening up when I started this channel. So I was talking to this guy who was a Mac fanboy. Everything was Apple or nothing for him, which was really annoying, but we were having some issues connecting to the internet. Now this guy was a tad older than I was, and being as such, he thought he knew everything, and pretty much everything I ever said was wrong. I made a comment about the internet being really slow, and he said this: "We have bad Wi-Fi in Oregon because there aren't enough gigarams in the atmosphere." All I could do was shake my head. Same guy one day was telling me his Mac laptop was better than my custom-built PC. I told him that I had a very fast hard drive in my PC, which is why it booted so quickly. And to this, he replied, "My computer is really fast as well. I put a lot of extra data on it to make it go faster." There really was no winning with that guy. When I was working at Walmart, there were a lot of weird conversations brewing in the break room. Everyone at Walmart thinks they're some sort of genius, and somehow discussing their opinions very loudly makes them correct. Well, these two guys were talking about evolution and why it's impossible. This guy was telling his pal that he had a conversation with an evolutionist and won the argument by saying this: "We're supposed to have evolved from monkeys. Monkeys throw their poop. Do you throw your poop?" The other guy looked at him like he was a god, and I was sitting there biting my tongue so I didn't scream out. That argument literally just made me an atheist. If even one other person is dumb enough to use that kind of logic, God literally doesn't exist. Speaking of Walmart, a coworker said this to me once: "Not only is the iPhone the fastest phone on the market, but it also has the best camera than any other phone." Confused, I asked him how his camera on the iPhone 5S could possibly have a better camera than mine on the LG G4, to which he replied, "You gotta take into consideration Apple's magic software that helps the camera." Mother of God, I almost feel like I'm doing an episode of Console Peasant Quotes. You guys heard this one if you saw my first coworker's video. Andrew said this: "I know a lot about computers. My friend is certified in C++. Sweet mother of God. This one was from a guy I worked with at Walmart as well. We were talking about consoles and PC, and he said this: "I own all three. Xbox is for competitive AAA games because Xbox is where the most competitive community is." As if. "PC is for indie games because as of right now, the technology on PC isn't as advanced as consoles." And then I use my PS4 for exclusives and MMOs. Now let me tell you a bit about this guy. He is a computer science major with a computer that has two 970s in it. I don't understand how this was possible. The same guy also said, "I can't get GTA to run at 1440p on max settings. It's saying I have 8 gigabytes of VRAM, but the game is running like crap." Good lord, dude. And the last one I heard the other day at work. This woman comes up to my register, which is by the door, and this very young girl walks out the door and the lady says, "Oh wow, look, that girl forgot to put on pants today. She's just wearing underwear." I turn around confused and I see the girls wearing those really short shorts. The lady then says, "Girls these days have absolutely no respect for themselves." Anyway, Thank you. And she starts to walk away. But when she turns around, I notice this lady is wearing very, very tight yoga pants and a shirt with white arrows pointing down at her butt with a caption on the back that says, "This is why I do squats." What the hell, lady? My God, people, man. They say some stupid stuff.